Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a bill relating to gender treatments in Kentucky prisons passed the House and is now sparking debate in the Senate. Plus, with more heavy rain in the forecast, folks in eastern Kentucky are gearing up for possible flooding.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and a happy Friday to you, Mountain family. My name is Amelia Lee, here with you on this February 14th. It is 5 o'clock this morning. It is Valentine's Day, the day of love, so we are having a great start to our Friday. It's also time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal. Megan, we are in that first alert weather day today, so what can folks expect? I know we've been talking about it, about some breaks from the rain for our Valentine's Day.
Yes, it's a lovely surprise, that little break that we're having from the rain. In fact, we need that. We've had tons of rain last week, and more rain is to come as you're heading into this weekend. But as you're heading out the door, here's what you can expect. Those temperatures feels like in the upper teens and low 20s, so it's definitely a chilly start to your morning. You'll continue to see the temperatures warm up as you're heading into the afternoon, looking at high temperatures in the 40s, seeing some 50s pop out as you're heading towards Harlan and Middlesboro. Now, as Amelia mentioned, we do have a little bit of a break today. Live pinpoint Doppler radar is completely clear this morning. We'll continue to see clear on the radar. We do have partly cloudy skies throughout the day. And as we're heading into the overnight hours, that's when we start to see that chance of rain pick up heading into tomorrow. Here's a look at that next 12 hours. We'll see the sun a little bit in the morning, and then the clouds will increase as you're inching closer and closer to that rainfall. We're looking at heavy rainfall for both Saturday and Sunday. Amelia.
All right, thank you, Megan. Well, gender treatments and sex change operations could not happen within Kentucky prisons under a bill that moved in a Senate committee yesterday. Supporters say the bill was filed after it was learned these treatments were made available to some inmates 4 years ago. Those against the measure say it's going to hurt inmates who need specialized care within the LGBTQ community. WYMT's Phil Pendleton explains the debate from the state capitol.
Kentucky prisoners could not receive a sex change operation or cross-hormone drugs if Senate Bill 2 becomes law.
The reason this is needed is to make sure that this is in statute so they don't go back to doing it illegally by memo.
Senator Wilson told the Judiciary Committee that happened in 2021.
And the idea that we would fund prisoners and pay for these procedures that are wrong is, I think, outrageous.
But members of the LGBTQ community say this bill would put a stop to essential treatment for a segment of the prison population. Hannah Callahan says it happened to her in Indiana.
I suddenly became weak and lethargic. I spent most of my time in my bunk asleep. I didn't have a clear head and my mind felt numb. My depression became so severe that I contemplated suicide.
Others say that it's simply unconstitutional to deny this type of care. They say it's part of a dangerous trend.
First, it was about transgender athletes, then it was about transgender youth. Now it's about adult transgender inmates, and pretty soon they're going to be coming for everyday trans Kentuckians who are just trying to live our lives and be parts of our communities.
The bill passed 6-2 with one lawmaker passing. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The bill states if ending treatment for an inmate shows physical harm to them, the health care provider may institute a period in which the use of the drug is systematically reduced and then eliminated. A new House bill could impact how much you're paying for college education. House Bill 434 would put limits on how much college tuition can be increased for new in-state students. Tuition could be raised up to 5% annually, and a 4-year tuition freeze could go into effect. For out-of-state students, that number is 7%. Another new proposed bill would allow Kentucky high school athletes the ability to transfer to another school one time without penalty. The bill is sponsored by Representative and Whitley County native Nick Wilson. The current KHSAA rules force athletes who have participated in varsity sports to sit out a year after they have transferred to another school. Many exceptions, though, have led to the KHSAA handling more than 100 transfer cases per month. Governor Andy Beshear is joining a nationwide lawsuit over the federal funding freeze by the Trump administration. A judge blocked that freeze, but the governor says some federal agencies are not following that order. The freeze impacted several programs in the state, including Medicaid, the Abandoned Mine Lands program, and even more. Beshear says the state paid out more than $7 million that the federal government now has to reimburse. More than $900,000 was awarded to clean up illegal dumps in 17 counties in Kentucky. The announcement was made by Governor Andy Beshear in the Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet. Several counties in our area received grants. That's Breathitt, Estill, Floyd, Johnson, Lawrence, Martin, Perry, and Wolfe counties. In a statement, Governor Beshear says the state is putting in work to welcome more businesses and visitors. Parts of Kentucky are expected to receive some heavy rain this weekend. Now, fire and rescue departments are preparing by gathering extra resources. Major Lisa Johnson with the Clay City Fire Department says in those 48 hours, they ended up rescuing and housing 48 Powell County citizens. Tomato soup was all they had in their firehouse for the residents to eat, but it still made an impact.
I was in a store one day and a lady pointed out, "There's my angel." And I did. I looked around like, what, she's talking to somebody? She was talking to me and remembered me giving her tomato soup in the kitchen.
Johnson says the best way for you to stay safe is to educate yourself and always use common sense when you face a high water emergency. Breathitt County is offering additional shelter for anyone who wants to leave home before heavy rain moves in this weekend. It's for anyone wanting to escape any potential flooding. The shelter will be located at the Lee's College Gymnasium. If you need shelter, you can go starting at 9. The county says it will send out more information as we approach opening time today. The Estill County community prepares for a flood that could be all too reminiscent of historic flooding from 2021. Hundreds of homes were impacted and thousands of people were left without power for days. First responders are keeping an eye on heavy rain on the forecast for this weekend, as river levels are expected to rise to more than 37 feet. Grayson Passmore spoke with emergency management officials and those who went through the last flood, who say it's best to prepare now while you still can.
After the flood of 2021, it took the Estill County community more than a year to recover. Now, 4 years later, it could all be happening again.
At this time, it looks like the river is going to reach about 37.5 feet, which is only about 3 feet below the 2021 flood.
Melissa Riddle with Emergency Management says around 200 homes were impacted then, including the house where Paul Arvin and his son Caden live.
All my friends around here and his friends and people that we didn't even know helped us out last time.
The 21 flood hit overnight.
So hopefully we can get some of our valuables out of here before it all happens.
This time, people have been warned a few days in advance.
It ain't just me and Caden's going to be affected. There's a lot more people in other counties and in our county as well.
Riddle says if you were impacted by the 2021 floods, the biggest thing you can do right now is just prepare for the possibility to be hit again.
Get everything in order, start moving your stuff. I know it's a lot. We have better timing this time. We did not expect the river to get as high as it did last time.
Riddle says they won't panic. They'll plan and hope for the best.
Get ready. Do not put your family at risk. Do not put yourself at risk. You know, property comes last to lives.
In Estill County, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Riddle recommends people spend today and the beginning parts of Saturday preparing to leave their homes if need be. Nearly $44,000 in emergency road aid funds is being awarded to the Breathitt County Fiscal Court. The funding will be used to repair a slide on South Leatherwood Road. Well, thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Just ahead, around 40% of Americans are unfaithful when it comes to finances, according to a new survey.
And I'll have a check on this weekend's rain chances up next.